Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's up?
Doing good, man. I'm just tired. I just got out of work.
Uh, oh,
Literally,
really?
yeah, they called us in Saturday. They were like, hey, since we're very short-handed all of this week, and they were like, hey, you gotta work Saturday. I'm like, all right, gotta go. So I've been up since 6 in the morning until I have to leave at 11. Yeah,
Are you good?
yeah,
You
I'm a little
good?
tired, but I mean, it's because they hacked our systems, man. It's I work at a hospital. They hacked the whole hospital internet, so the whole server's fried.
Oh, dude, is it a ransomware attack or something? Are they asking for Bitcoin and shit? Oh,
Uh,
man,
it
that's
was
nasty.
it was a cyber attack. So it happened last 2 weeks ago on a Thursday, and then since of that Thursday, it got affected all of this week. So we're like 3 4 days behind. So we
Damn.
were able to finish a good amount of work, and now we're just 2 days behind.
Oh, boy. So are you
Yeah.
guys trying to pay the ransom, or maybe you can't talk about it? But yeah, that sucks. So here in Vegas, the Caesars got hacked and MGM got hacked.
No
Caesars
way.
didn't, yeah, so this was maybe a year or two ago, but there was this I don't know if it was Russian or Ukrainian, but some group,
Mhm.
right? They found that you could just call like HR and be like, "Hey, I forgot my password," and they're like, "Oh, okay, here you go," and
Oh
they just
no.
got into some system
Oh
and
my
they
gosh.
hacked Caesars, and Caesars was they were basically like, "Give us millions of dollars, or we're gonna like shut everything down." Caesars just paid it, right?
I mean,
And
yeah,
didn't
they
tell
can afford it.
anybody. Yeah, well, they didn't even tell anybody at the beginning. And then, like a couple weeks later, same thing happened to MGM. And MGM was like, we're not going to pay it. So they started shutting everything down. People were stuck in elevators, like systems were going haywire because they didn't know. I mean, when you start turning systems off,
Mhm.
turning them back on, I mean, it's a mess, right? So I think they
Yeah,
ended up paying it too because they were just like, all right, we're screwed, you know? But
that's crazy, man. No,
yeah.
here, I mean, they haven't really said much about it because I talked to our IT group too, since I'm good buddies with a whole bunch of IT, and they said that probably gonna take like a month or 2 months to get all of our servers back up or back to
Yeah,
normal.
that's a mess. All right, so let's talk Pokemon
Yeah,
now,
there you
because
go.
yeah,
Sorry
I'm
about
a
that.
programmer for a living, so you're
Oh, for
talking
real?
my jive right now. Yeah. So, all right. So, first off, what's your name, man?
Oh, my name's Sebastian, man. Nice to meet you. What
Sebastian.
what about yours?
So AKA Giovanni, but my real name's Josh.
Nice to meet you,
Yeah.
Josh.
So, cool, man. Yeah. So, I've been interviewing some people in this restoration industry, and it seems like it's kind of growing in a good pace, I feel like. And I noticed that you popped up, and I was like, oh, who's this Poca cleaning shop guy, So yeah, hit started kind of checking your stuff out, and you look like you're pretty good, man. So
Yeah,
curious,
thank you.
like,
Appreciate it.
maybe let's kind of roll things back just because I'm very nostalgic. Like,
Mhm.
did you fuck with Pokemon back in the day when you were a kid or something like that, or
So
you just kind of got into it older?
no, I've been into it for like since I was in elementary, man. Like, I mean, I'm 26 right now. All of elementary, I've been collecting Pokemon cards, and then after like a certain while, when I hit middle school to high school, that's when I stopped, completely stopped. And then now looking back, I gave my old collection to a cousin, and my cousin, I don't even know what my cousin did with that anymore. So now I was like, I even talked to him like, hey, do you still have them?
I know, right? Like I've heard
Yeah.
that story so many times, like movers stealing it or parents giving it away, But yeah, dude, that sucks. Did you have anything or like all of it you gave to him?
Um, I only gave a certain amount, but then I remembered that I had a good bangers on that binder that I gave him. I had a melodic from Dragon Frontiers, the reverse hollow. I don't know if you remember that one. I had that one
Yeah.
there, and then I had a good couple of hitters. Luckily, I had my Shining Gyarados in the one that I found in my parents' home, and I just saw it. It was near mint, so I was like, I'm gonna just bring it back.
Yeah, that's like since you don't have much left, you got to keep that
No,
one,
and then the cool thing is that it's a double hollow. So I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
I was even more stoked when I even like saw everything when I like checked everything.
Yeah, there's like a 20% chance that most of those are double hollows, but when they are, especially if you have a good swirl placement, I mean, those are sweet. The Shining Magikarp, it's funny about the double hollow is because all of the cards in that Neo Revelation set can have the double hollow. The problem is not all of the hollows PSA recognizes as double hollow air.
Yeah.
So like there's really like for example, there's a Porygon 2. I have one over here that's a double hollow. Porygon's my guy, so but like you can see if you know what you're looking for, you can see the double hollow, but when you send it in for a double hollow, they're like whatever. So there's only like I think 5 or 6 that maybe 7 that they recognize as double hollows, but
Mhm.
the Gyarados is the hitter out of that. I think
Yeah.
that's the chase card in that set,
I
right?
I
Do you
was
remember
actually gonna
do you
sell
remember
it.
pulling it out
Yeah.
of the pack
Yeah, I
or
do.
did you trade it? Hell
No,
yeah.
I remember pulling it from the pack.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember pulling it from the pack, and also like I was eventually gonna sell that one, but I was like, you know what? Because I went to my local game store, and I had some good bangers. I had Charizard from Plasma. What was that set? It was the secret rare. It was the first ever. It was the gold border. I think it was from Plasma Storm.
Okay.
Yeah, I had that one. I had the Diago from Phantom Forces, the Sacred Rare, and I turned all those in, and I regret it every single day because every now prices are going up. I'm like, I should have just kept them instead
Yeah,
of getting traded.
don't stress over it. There's so much shit I sold last year that I'm like, I should have hung on to it.
Yeah,
That's just the
that's just the thing.
market.
Yeah,
Ricky in the chat here was asking, do y'all think they'll ever bring back Dark Pokemon? And I like that question because we got
I
that
hope
new
so.
Team Rocket set coming out, and I'm disappointed, bro, because I really wanted some like Dark Charizard and Dark Blastoise from the old Team Rocket
Oh
set.
yeah, like,
Nasty
the best
cards.
ones, man. They were the best.
Yeah.
I used to have a Dark Charizard, man, and I sold that one too. But that one was one of the best. Well, my wife got me that one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but that one was one of my favorite ones. Dark Charizard and even Dark Dragonite was one of my favorites too. Um, but I do hope they do. I mean, I hope. I mean, of course, all the reviews. I mean, I'm pretty sure Pokemon is gonna like see all the stuff and the backlash that like people that are gonna be not liking what's gonna be happening, and they're probably maybe later on in a later set probably gonna bring that up or bring it back.
Yeah, we'll see. I know. I don't know, like I was staring at a Dark Blastoise. I still have my Dark Blastoise, luckily. And I was just looking at it and I'm like him like looking up all mean and stuff
Yeah,
like
dude.
that. Like
I like
it's
the art from back
so
then.
it hits, bro. It hits. And even the Dark Charizard, how he's kind of like, yo,
Yeah,
what's up? He's like, well, you trying to sneak up on me? I'm about to blast you. I Man, the new stuff, I'm just like, like 151 Charizard, for example, him flying
Mhm.
through. Kind of cool. I mean, I'm not going to hate too much on that card, but like if they don't have a Charizard in this Team Rocket set, I'm going to just be like, what are you guys doing with this franchise? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but anyway, okay. Enough of hating on Pokemon. There's so much going on right now as
Oh,
far
I
as
know.
I feel like Pokemon dropping the ball with the whole scalper situation. I mean, it is nuts right now. I feel like they're kind of controlling the market a
Yeah,
little bit, like Beanie Babies, where they're just like printing. Like they could
we're
probably
turning
print
them
the
out.
ever living shit out of these things, but they're just kind of like, let's hype it up, right? Like these are freaking Yeezys or Supreme T-shirts or
Yeah.
something, like.
I was gonna tell you, how's it over there in Vegas? Like, how's the scalping situation, or how are the local game stores over there?
I'll be dead ass with you. Since I clean cards and stuff like
Hmm.
that, that's how I like kind of keep my whole hobby going is that way. I don't even really fuck with like trying to buy and flip retail sealed. Like there's too many people doing that. I mean, like you could tell with my whole channel, I kind of went like everybody was going like this and I was like,
Yeah.
fuck all y'all, right? Like because if you think about it, you're just competing with this huge amount of people and it just
Mhm.
keeps growing. But yeah, people are fighting each other. Like Costco is always nuts from what I hear.
Yeah.
Every time I go to a local card shop, if they do have some of the newer sets, they're always way over MSRP, In fact, most of the time they're like 10, $20 over TCG player, like and they're selling. Like that's what's
Mhm.
crazy. Like cuz I'll that's like some of the new sets I like to rip on IG and stuff. I'll just go to like Awesome Card Shop here in
Yeah.
Vegas or Legacy
Yeah.
and I'll just be like, you know what, whatever. Like I know the people there, they won't charge me tax at least or whatever. And
Mhm.
so, but still, I'm paying like that Journey Together. I just ripped a little while ago. I paid 264, and even the guy who worked at the card shop was like, "Bro, it's a lot right now. Like I don't
Yeah.
know." And I was like, "I'll just do it because I want to support y'all." But
Yeah. Of course.
yeah.
So
The Journey Together, I will say, has decent hit rates
oh
though.
yeah, I a friend of mine gave me, or a client, but we became really good buddies. He went on a whole spree 2 days ago. He was like, you know what, I'm gonna go look for some journeys together. So he went to all the Dollar Trees and he got a good amount for a good price.
Hell
So he
yeah,
gave me
that's sick.
4 packs, and then out of those 4 packs, I got a good hit. I got these. Let me see. I have it here in a binder. Let's see.
I want to see if I have this.
This one right here.
Oh,
Yeah, I pulled
nice. That one's
that one.
sick.
And then I go to Mexico a lot too, and
Oh,
I've been
okay.
seeing what they have over there too, and I see the prices are even better over there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Here, this is not my card. In fact, somebody gave me this card to fix, and I hit this dude up. I was like, bro, like let's get together. He's just been busy, but this was a PSA 4, I think, or 3, and
Yeah,
yeah, banger,
dude.
bro. And massive indent on the back, super easy to fix, like sort of thing.
Mhm.
So, oh, and there was a crease going along like right over here, and I used the heat pen and stuff like that to just kind of, iron that
Flatten
out,
that
and
out.
it
Yeah.
came out really good. Because it was one of those creases where it was just hairline. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't one of those where it's like a bunch of them or a fat one. For some reason, it was just like this little hairline crease, but it came out really good. But man, that just hits different, bro. If
Oh
you
yeah.
tell me that that's not like I remember pulling this card as a kid, and
Hmm.
I was just like, fuck yes. In fact, what sucks, I did trade the card and I regret it.
Yeah.
And you know who I traded with was Gary, like King Pokemon,
Oh, for real?
because he was in
Hmm.
Vegas back in the day, and in fact, I hit him up. I was like, in 1999, did you go to like Galleria Mall for the very first Pokemon event? And he was like, yeah, I think so. And I was like,
Yeah.
because I looked at him like I was like, oh shit, this guy looks familiar. And I went back in my memory. I'm 38, so I'm a little older than you,
Yeah.
but like middle school is where this was hitting, bro.
Oh
But
yeah.
I fell out right at like the next set. I was kind of like, all right, I started getting into skateboarding and girls and everything else. But uh, my kids got back into it during the pandemic and stuff, and that's when I busted out my childhood cards, and I was
Hmm.
like, let me grade them because I just found out about that. Then I got
Yeah.
back shit grades, and I was like, what's going on? And then that's when I was like, oh, there's an indent. Like, let me see if there's a way I can like boost these grades a little bit because there's like no whitening. It looked like I thought it had like tens.
Yeah.
When you first get into it, you're like, oh, I got all these mint cards, and then you realize how hard it is to actually get those.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, how did like first off, like, when did you start like cleaning cards, I guess, or what kind of
So
brought you back in?
So with that, it's because I ordered two basic Japanese Charizards on eBay a long time ago, like 2 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And when they came back, I thought they were super good. Like they look good. Maybe just like one little whitening in the side of the edge and the back, but other than that, I saw that they were really clean. So I was, I sent them to my first place that I ever sent them to was Beckett, since they're closer and everything. So I sent them there, and I was looking at like, okay, how can I clean, or how can I make it look better, like without spotless. So my first thing that I saw was Windex and a microfiber cloth.
Hmm.
So I did that, and they looked spotless. And then when they came back, with those two chargers, one of them got a 7.5, and the other one got an 8. And with that, I just wanted to learn more about like, oh, okay, do people actually clean them? How do I clean them? And I YouTubed it, and then Kurt's Card Care came out, like all of his videos came out. So that's when I started watching his videos and getting more into it. So after that, I purchased my first Kurt Card Care kit, and I started learning. I will watch his videos and like learn for my cards as I go. And with all those like little trials and errors, it helped me build the foundation that I am today. And
Oh
then
yeah.
also, I was looking at a lot more stuff, and then Rocket Collects came out too.
Hmm.
So with that, I didn't know. Like I learned about flattening, I learned about the presses, I learned like about how to fix edge corners and everything. And I'm even like I even like Amazoned everything. Like I'm like, okay, this looks like exactly what he uses, so let me buy it. You know, I did all that, and then that's when I met you, and I went to your channel, and I like what you did. I like the whole like persona that you do with Giovanni, like everything. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. That happened organically, man. I was just like, this is boring. Like, I want this stuff to be engaging. And so I don't know why Giovanni's from New York. Maybe that because that's the only accent I can,
Yeah.
like, only impersonation I can do. But yeah, it just came out like
Mhm.
naturally that way. But like, that's cool, man. So you kind of had the same journey as me, like Kurt and Rocket Collects. And, in the beginning, maybe, because the thing about the presses and stuff like that, although Rocket Collects was showing that a little bit, he wasn't really explaining. Nothing against him. I talked to him, I
Mhm.
think, like a couple weeks ago. He's awesome, but he didn't really explain too much, like how to do it.
Yeah.
From what I saw, like you could see that they were in there. He said I pressed them, but it uh, and maybe he mentioned the humidor, but it wasn't like here's how long or like here's what you use in between it. Here's how you dry it. Like, and to be honest with you, I feel like that's still the area that I'm still experimenting with is like the presses because there's so many ways to do it
Yeah.
in the sense of how much pressure, how long in the humidor, how to dry the card.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. For example, like Salvo, I actually found this in just like a bag in the
Mhm.
garage because I've been looking for this type of material. And Salvo was mentioning like, yeah, this is what he uses when he dries the card. And it
Mhm.
has like not sandpaper, but like it's a
Yeah.
textured sort of deal, right? Like you could see through it or whatever. But I
Mhm.
mean, it's fairly thick. So he was like, yeah, I cut these out and
Mhm.
then put the plates in between it, right? And put the
Yeah.
card. And so he was like, it gives it that nice textured feel.
Yeah.
And I found blotter paper, which I saw on my site, which
Mhm.
I feel like maybe arguably works better because it does have the same like nice textured feel, but like pulls out the moisture because like the
Yeah.
moisture has somewhere to go. With this, I feel like the only way for the moisture to escape is this way. But anyway, my bottom line, my point is like that part I'm still really trying to nail down because too much pressure, you can start to get these weird
The
warps in
folds.
the card.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for example, this Mewtwo I kind of messed up. Like, well, I mean, I got this indent out. It'll for sure grade better than the six that it was. But if you look at it, I mean,
Yeah.
this is natural. Like PSA won't ding you for this, but the problem is if you look at, I guess it's not as bad since I've been leaving in here. Maybe you can kind of see it.
Mhm.
But you see how it's a little bit I don't know. There's like it almost looks it's not perfectly
Yeah, I see
round.
it.
There's like a little bit of indent or not indent, but like
It's like
I
it
don't know.
caved in a little bit.
Yeah, it's like one side's like caved in just slightly. And it was because there was like a the not crease, but there was indents right here. So I put the clamp down like hella hard right here when it
Mhm.
was in the press, and I feel like that kind of just like permanently kind of jacked up the paper fibers inside.
Mhm.
So that little spot now is kind of like sitting down. So I'm curious, like, how much experimenting do you do with like that step? Like, is that something you're still trying to hone in, or do you think you got that pretty well down?
I mean, I'm still like, I mean, of course, I talked to Kurt a lot too, and I asked for a lot of advice of like how he would handle some situations that I see or that I'm trying to like to do. With that type of stuff, I know he told me because the same thing that happened to me. I had a curvature from a card, and it was because of the press. I pressed it too hard, and I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, okay, I want to see what I can do to flatten it. So I know Kurt told me the best thing that you can do to flatten that out is get those pads that he gets with his kits, those black pads. Just do one spray in each. Just leave it there for 24 hours, and it should help. And when
Yeah,
I did that, and it helped out a lot with some of the cards that I was experimenting on.
I should
And
try that because that like this Charizard here has kind of a similar issue because I pressed it too hard. And I ended up putting it. This has had probably 3 or 4 humidity treatments
oh
by
wow,
now, and it's really just to try to like fluff up those paper
yeah,
fibers to avoid that, right? But maybe I call it humidity store
mhm,
method, where like you spray those pads, but it like Kurt goes pretty soft and long,
Yeah.
meaning you have to do it probably for 4 or 5 days. With my method, it's quick, but it's more dangerous in the sense that it adds that crocodile skin to the
Yeah.
back, and
I
then you have
noticed
to
that.
press it right away. You can get that to go away, like that crocodile skin stuff, but you have to press the shit out of the card. Then
Hmm.
the so Kurt's method is obviously better, but if you're in a pinch and you need a rush, which I do quite often, I end up
Yeah,
doing
I'm in
the
the same
humidity
boat.
store. But
Yeah.
there's that parchment paper, like which I feel like is a slight improvement to his
Mhm.
method, to Kurt's method, because at least the card's not sitting directly on the moisture.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if like Kurt's method plus the parchment paper, meaning like maybe 1 or 2 sprays,
Hmm.
and then like do that for three. Like I wonder if that's the nice mix between the two. But yeah. Anyway, Kurt's the man. I always talk to him pretty often too, and he's been through a lot of shit, and for how nice that guy is,
Yeah, he's
like he
super nice.
doesn't get enough credit.
Super.
Like he's the man. Like I don't know why people hate on him so much, and bro, I get hate too. I don't know if you're starting to get that in your comments or whatever, this is
Um,
altering and that sort of crap, but
I haven't gotten too much hate on it. I know I did post a video a while back when I was cracking a slab of that Rayquaza Poncho Rayquaza that my friend wanted done because he wanted to change it from CGC to Beckett so he can at least get a Beckett 10. And already people were starting to hate, like, oh, this is you already messed up the card and all that stuff. I'm like, I even looked at the card, I'm like, it does not look damaged. I even showed proof. I'm like, it's not damaged, just like pieces of plastic that fly everywhere when this happens, you know. And I explained to some people, cracking stabs is not always going to be perfect. And,
mhm.
I really think with this whole hobby, I mean, I enjoy this hobby. I met a lot of people, incredible people because of this hobby,
Yeah.
with the restorations and everything. And it's just, I think maybe, and I've also learned that not everybody's going to be happy. Like, some people are going to be happy with the work and some people are not.
Yeah.
And I've learned that. And,
Yeah.
but other than hate or anything, maybe just one comment, but I deleted it.
There you go. Yeah. No, I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah.
And, one thing I will say about what we do is if I'm asked, hey, has this card been restored? I'm honest. Like,
Hmm.
because there are some collectors, and I get it, like they want something that came out of the pack and went into a slab. I get that. And I also get trimming and coloring a card. I get that that's too much.
Yeah.
And I know people who do that shit, and I won't fuck with it because I
Um,
feel like that's pushing it in the
yeah.
sense that
That's
if
very
I were
much.
a
Yeah.
collector and I had a 10 and then come to find out like I'm looking at the corner and I'm like, why is it shining a little different there? And then I
Yeah.
notice somebody like added blue paint or something there. I'd be pretty pissed off,
Of
right?
course. Yeah. I think anybody would because they're already thinking and already trusting the person that it's like, oh, I got it out of the pack. This is how it is. This is
Yeah.
how it. Um, but like I tell some of my clients too, I mean, hey, I mean, sometimes the process do take long. Like, well, I don't know if you remember the Gyarados that I sent you, that one that was like really dirty, the one that had like a really, really crazy indent on the top right corner in the back. I don't know if you remember that
Uh,
one.
yeah, I think
That
so.
one
Yeah.
took me 4
Oh,
weeks, 4 weeks
wow.
to complete. And I think that one, I was really proud of that one. And I even told the guy too. I'm like, yeah, this one's taking a long time, I do apologize for that because, of course, from all the schedule that I work from 8 to 5.
Yeah.
Then I come home, I spend time with my family, and then like around from 8 to 11, that's when I start like trying to restore
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah, I'm usually at night too. And I that part of the reason why I quit cleaning cards for people is because I was getting backlogged like hell. I had a client's card for 3 months and I was like, I felt bad for the guy. Like
Mhm.
I did my best. And there's some cards too, like mid-era cards.
Yeah,
I fucking hate those, man, because mid-era cards have this tendency to have what I call bubbling, or like you'll get a small crease. I might have an example here, but you'll get a small crease and you press the shit out of it, and then the minute it comes back out of the press, it comes right back.
Yeah.
And I'm almost 100% positive during this mid era when Pokemon decided to say screw you, Wizards of the Coast, we're going to make these ourselves.
Mm.
They probably use some weird ass adhesive that just like won't reactivate, kind of like the WotC stuff. Because I had this guy's card and I pressed it and I got it out. So let me try to get the right
I'm
angle here. So
gonna show you one of
you,
those too.
you see this right here, that little line
Yeah,
right
I
there.
see it.
So for some reason on these mid-air cards, and it's hit and miss. This one I think I can fix because it's a hairline. But there's one that almost looked like bubble, and why I call it bubbled up because if if you push onto it with your finger, like whatever
Yeah.
in a card saver or penny sleeve, right? If you just push on it and it goes like and then you let go and it just goes right back like this,
Hmm.
like it has give. Like with a crease, there's like paper fibers underneath, right? So like a crease will have like paper fibers jammed up, and when you push it, there's not much give because those paper fibers underneath, like, because a Pokemon card is like built different, right? Like you
Yeah.
have the plastic layer, which is like your hollow, and then underneath you have that silver hollow surface. There's this plastic film on top of it, but underneath is the actual like hollow
Yeah.
paper, black core, and then paper.
Paper.
But like for some reason, I noticed on these mid-era cards, and this is what, like, clients would send these to me, and I was like, I'm just. In fact, TCG Wizardry was saying the same thing, but like
Hmm.
if you push on that and it just bumps back up like that, like there's give, that means it looks like this underneath.
Yeah.
The plastic has literally warped. The paper is down here and there's air right here. And so you're pushing it and it's just going like this. And there for some reason, and I've pressed these things for days, this adhesive doesn't stick back to it. And I don't know. So maybe I could like get into the dark arts of trying to like get some adhesive underneath it or something, but I haven't pushed it that hard. What's wrong with the one that you were just showing me?
So this
Like,
one was a buddy of mine's, and then it was cooked. It was like the creases all over right here. There was the one straight in the middle. I was able to take that off, but now that you mentioned the bubbling, I'm like, oh, like it's very. I mean, it's very faint now, but we were able to take most of that off. But I do like when you were just mentioning that right now. I'm like, oh, so that's what it is because I wasn't really like I was trying to learn about that too. Like I'm gonna like I was trying to
e-readers too, be
fix it.
careful because the e-readers and these ones, it's like that mid-era. For some reason, they were using. So I'm worried about this card. I bought this one off of eBay for like I think 1,200. It's crazy how much this card goes
Oh
for.
yeah.
But this will go in a video soon. But if uh, there's I should probably just take it out real quick. Yeah, let me do that. So see that fat crease right there
Yeah.
going across right there.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna take the heat pen to that, and then try to press that. What do you use? Do you use a heat pen, or do
Yeah.
you do like an iron or something?
I was thinking of actually getting a heat press too, because just like a little mini one. But so far, I'm just using this little one that I have right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
just one I
but
sell. Yeah.
I do see that you do use vinyl as well. I haven't been able to get my hands or which vinyl to use. I do use just the parchment paper method that you did tell me about,
Parchment
so they can fix it.
paper is solid. It's just that you have to use that low heat setting.
Yeah,
Is that what you use, the blue light
yeah. I use the
one there?
blue light,
Yeah,
and then I just do like little bursts, like maybe like 3 to 4 seconds. I recheck it, wait until
same.
it like
Yeah.
cools down. Same thing, and it's like I told another restoration, one of the buddies that I met because of this hobby. Same thing. He's trying to learn the same thing, and I told him, yeah, you just have to be patient with this because if you're not patient, you can really mess up the card.
That, and I noticed that getting the card humid before you work
It's
on
better.
it is way better.
Yeah, I noticed
Way better.
that a lot too. How long do you use? Do you put it in the humidor for? So before you start using it?
To be honest with you, I actually so I would say like with cards that I'm like whatever with, like where it's not like super duper expensive, I actually do the humidity store method where I'll spray the black pads like
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 times on each side, put the parchment paper, and then just put it in between the acrylic plates and let it sit there for about 8, 12 hours,
Mm-hmm.
take it out, and then work on it right away. Just take the heat pen right to
Yeah.
it. The card gets so much more malleable
Mm-hmm.
when you do that than the humidor. You
Yeah.
can let the card sit in the humidor till you're blue in the face. It's only going to soak up so much moisture. But
Yeah.
when there's direct contact with moisture like that in a sealed chamber, like in the humidity store method,
Mm-hmm.
um, it gets a lot more wet. But again, you get that crocodile skin. Like there's
Yeah.
the trade-offs, right? Which so if I'm doing the humidor, maybe overnight, if and this happens quite often, I'll put a card in the humidor and I'll be like, I'll grab it in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
completely forget. 2 days later, I'll look at the
And it's
humidor.
like
I'm like,
really
oh fuck,
like
man.
warm. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit. Not a big deal because you can still like flatten it out after. But
Yeah.
some people freak out. Like they're like, oh my god, my card's like way curved. I'm like, even Captain Jack Parrott, Salvo over in Italy, who
Mm-hmm.
restores cards, was like, yeah, I don't stress too much over that. Like and he has a point. Like if how the card dries is the shape that it will be,
Yeah.
unless you fuck it up like I did, where you're putting too much pressure on one spot.
Yeah.
So Salvo's pretty adamant about doing the pressure points in the right spot. Whereas I get a little like impatient maybe, or I'm dealing with a crease on the back or something, and I'll go, you know what?
Right.
That's going right
Right
over,
directly. Yeah.
and
I'm the same way.
I do that too, and it does get out.
Mm.
The backfire of that is then you have like a weird curved card, like in the case of like this is easier to show.
Yeah.
See how much that's
Yeah.
curved down in the middle? It just looks weird. The other side's fine, but I don't know. So it sucks. Like I don't know if PSA is gonna or whatever any grading company is gonna really give a shit. But I will say for personal collection, I actually dig BGS. I've been grading with them a lot lately.
Mm.
Um, I love the inner sleeve,
Yeah. Me
with
too.
BGS because first of all, it's a pain in the ass to crack the slab, which is I think a good thing.
Yeah.
Like that deters a lot of people from cracking to
Have you
begin
noticed
with.
that they're really really hefty too when you carry them?
Bro, you can use those shits as fucking like, K bars
Yeah.
and shit. Yeah, but the inner sleeve is like so much less stress when you're cracking the thing
Yeah.
out, you know what I mean? Um, and PSA like and SG, all the other slabs, to be honest with you, are like super easy to crack. But if you splinter that shit down the middle or something, that's when shit can go haywire with like a cracking. But I've been doing some newer methods now that like I found online. Salvo showed one with PSA that you can basically just like it's not hard. It's like you basically just like lift the corner and it pops right up. I'll show you what I mean.
No.
Um,
I'm just trying to I'm trying to figure out new ways to crack slabs so it can just be like more efficient and better, and so it would like have like plastic all over. I see
yeah,
people use like saws, man. I don't know if you've seen that before.
that's That's fucking overkill. Like, I don't know, you're gonna cut your damn finger off trying to open up a
I
damn
saw one
Pokemon
video of
card.
saw, and then another guy literally just put a slab right on the stair of the cement, and he just cracks it with a spoon.
That's
That that's
that's like
that's
I've seen
crazy.
that too, where they'll put their foot down and then just
Yeah,
like that probably is okay, but that still the card is
I
like
would
juggling
never do
around in
that.
there. Yeah, so CGC, I found this newer, easier method. There's this hairline opening here, and if you can get there's like one little part here that has this little like opening, and you can just literally put your thing in there and just open this thing right up. Sometimes you need to find a good spot to get it in between. Or what I like to do is like crack the corner. So I just take
Yeah,
it, boom, just snap off the corner and then just work through it. But the PSA slabs, I noticed there's a much easier way to do it now, which is like if you look at the actual slab,
oh yeah.
you can see that there's like this kind of opening or whatever
Hmm.
you want to call it. But if you just grab just on the edge there, kind of hard to do it here, but and then you kind of lift the corner, you hear that
Yeah,
cracking noise right there?
it pops right
See
out.
how it's, yeah, and you work all the way around. Salvo is the one that showed how to do that, and it works. I actually opened up a slab, like super clean, didn't need to crack it at all, and it came out like,
That's
like,
perfect, man. I mean, I think I'm
yeah,
gonna start using that too because it's better because you're more careful with the card and then nothing,
yeah.
no damage happens.
You're
So
not,
that's
because if you crack the corner and it splinters this way, that's when you're like, oh shit, I have a big problem.
yeah.
Because I've had one situation when I was cracking stuff early where it like dinged the bottom of the car. Luckily, it wasn't too bad,
Mhm.
but man, like it could have been a nightmare. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Um,
anything could happen once there's like a crack right in the middle. Oh my God, that's
yeah.
stressful.
But Beckett's awesome. Like I love that inner sleeve. I wish more grading companies did that. You know.
Yeah. What do you think
But
about tag?
tag's cool. I mean, I think bottom line, the fact that PSA doesn't have a page like Tag does where it shows what's wrong with the card
Yeah.
is is stupid. Like PSA's scoring, although they clearly show what's what, when you go and look up a cert, you don't know what's wrong with the
Yeah.
card. So what I mean by that is like they give clear like here's our centering for 10, even though that's even kind of back and forth between 60 40 and 55 45. They do have like here's what where it's probably going to land, right? But when you pull up a cert and the card looks clean, you're like, okay, it's a 6. It's got to have an indent somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's not like they have pictures where it's like, here's this angle. You know, it's like
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah.
dead on, and you can't see what's wrong with the card. So that's my only thing is like with tag, you look at that and it has those 3D scans, it shows you where the indents are and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like, dude, this is like, the shit.
Uh,
So maybe PSA will get there, but they're behind right now. You know
yeah,
what I
and I
mean?
think tag is like real advanced with all that stuff, and I really like I like all that stuff how they show like the like when you can like fade it out and you can see like exactly where the dent is and everything. I think that's amazing, and I think I mean I know BGS has those four things like the corners, edges, surface, and what was the other one? Edges, surface,
Uh,
corners, and
centering,
centering.
centering.
And I think
Yeah.
that's pretty cool too, so you can know like what the problem is. And I think
Hmm.
more grading should have that, so you can know like okay, so what's wrong with this. And I've been doing that a lot too. And I noticed that you posted. I when you post that video, like you should like look at some fives or sixes to see and look at the back if it's super clean. Then there's probably like an indent somewhere, and that's what I've been doing. I've been on eBay. I've been going to my game store so I can see if I can find any that I can just like pick up and fix.
Yeah. I went to this new card shop here in Vegas. Well, not new, new for me. I haven't been there.
Mhm.
And I will look in there, and at this point, I mean, first of all, it's not worth it if it's a 6 and it's like a $100 card, to be honest. Because even if you get it to, let's say you get lucky and you hit the 8 or a
Yeah.
9, usually you're only looking at 50 to $100. Take
Hmm.
out the grading costs. It's like, okay, for all that time you spent on that card, you're only really coming out maybe like $50, $80, let's say.
Yeah.
Versus a card like, in fact, this is the one that I picked up, which was this Mewtwo, which is kind of funny because I literally just fixed this Mewtwo first edition.
Hmm.
I go into a card shop and I see this Mewtwo first edition. I'm like, fuck, I already have that card and I'm working on it.
They
But
might as
it was the
well get
only it was the only card in the case that was like expensive,
it. Hmm.
a 6 or mid range and clean.
Yeah.
And I didn't even look at what was the actual issue. All I did was I was like, "Can I see the Mewtwo?" Because I don't like to tip off the people that I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do because then they may not work with you on the price. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I grabbed this card out of the case, looked at it, looked at the back, saw this was clean, and I was like, I'll take. I offered lower, and the price that they had on this card was like before the boom in
Hmm.
December. So I even was like nervous on negotiating because I'm like the card's already lower than what it's going for right
Yeah.
now. But I was like, still, let me shoot my shot. And that backfired a little bit. They were like, "Nah, we're staying right at that price." Which at least they didn't like go, "Oh, it's mispriced. Let's bump it up,"
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I ended up picking it up. But um, sure enough, when I get in the car and I was like, okay, let me now take a look at it. There's an indent. See that right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that line, that's an indent. Easy fix, right? Do what you're talking about with Kurt Steele probably and call it a day. I don't want to go overboard with this card,
Of course not.
but
And that. So with
so
that,
yeah.
with the humidor stuff, I've learned like so many ways. Like it's because I know with the Rocket Collects, I would see some of his videos, and sometimes he'll mention that he would leave it there for 30 minutes or 45 minutes, depending on how damaged it is. Just it depends. But then
Hmm.
like when I started coming across your videos, I would say like, oh, there was one where I think you left one for 2 days. I'm like, okay, so let me try to like to see or experiment on one of my own cars, see like what works best. So what I've noticed, sometimes I leave them for 2 hours, and that works pretty good, depending
two
on
hours,
yeah,
2 hours in the humidor,
the humidor with 80% humidity.
80%. You mean to just prep the card for pressing, is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
for that or any fixes like edge repair or yeah, with that one with the Gyarados that I fixed up with the right indent, I did a mix of the humidity. I tried to like lift it up as much as possible, and then after that I started doing the storm, so I could try to
Yeah,
fully lift it. And after the storm, as soon as I'll take it out, I'll get the heat pen and just work my way to try to like flatten that out,
yeah.
and it
How
worked.
many cards? So, what do you? Okay, let me back up a little bit here. So you started fixing cards, and you were like, Sebastian was like, "All right, you know what? I'm gonna start cleaning other people's cards." Like, when did that idea come up? Was just like people kept asking you,
No,
or what?
actually, it's because my wife is actually a huge support on that because I like since I got a Kurtz, I wanted Kurtz card care and everything. I learned all the basics. I learned all the stuff that I needed to learn and to build that foundation. And after that, like I told my wife, you know what, I want to do this. I really want to do this. And my wife was even telling me like, you know what, you should do this. Try doing this as a hobby, or if not, like a little side hustle.
Hmm.
So I was like, you know what? All right, I'll do that. So I started doing that, and it went really well at first. And in this page, I barely made it in January, and I didn't think it was gonna hit as it's hitting now, or like all the followers and all the support that I'm getting. And
Yeah,
it's like and I was telling my wife, wow, I didn't think like I was just telling my wife, you know what? Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes, and it's been very successful so far, and I was just very surprised and happy at how it's been and how it's getting.
yeah. Andrew's complaining about the smoke detector
Oh,
beeping
I'm
over on your
sorry about that.
side. That's funny.
Gotta
Andrew,
change the
quit
batteries.
OCDing out on us, man. Yeah. That guy, he's been following me since day one. Yeah. Shout out, Andrew. No, yeah. So, how much do you charge? Do you like charge? Because here's the thing, when I started doing
Mm-hmm.
when I was cleaning other people's cards, um, first off, another reason I quit cleaning other people's cards is because I'm making new products. I'm experimenting with new methods.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like trying some crazy shit right now, bro. My garage looks like a mad scientist, like Dexter's laboratory status right now. And I didn't want to get mentally eaten up by like, because up here, I would have all my clients' cards I need to
Mm-hmm.
clean. I would walk into my office every day and I would just stare at that and be like, fuck, like I gotta do this. I gotta figure out new ways to fuck, it
Yeah.
was too much. But how I was doing it was like based on the raw value of the card would be how much I would charge to clean it. The problem with that is if I were to clean this $80 Mischievous or this $1,500 Torchage, it's the same amount of
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean? Like, and I figured out like TCG Wizardry, I think did it right, where she's like 150 flat. If you give me a tip at the end because you made $1,000 or whatever, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious, like, how do you charge for your cleaning services?
So when I first started it, like the cleaning and everything, I used to charge $5 a card flat because that's when I was barely starting out, and well, and then also because it just like, and I was talking about prices with another colleague of another friend that I made that also does restorations and everything because he's from California, and we were talking about this, and I told him it's because it just really depends on where you live because right now since we live here in Edinburgh, Texas. It just not a lot of people can afford that. Like it's a very low income place.
Mm,
So that's why I kind of like determine the prices of what I have now on that, so it could be more fair for everybody. So per
yeah.
card right now, I do 15 for
Okay.
cleaning, and if it has dents and everything, or even cracking a slab, I do $20 to crack the slab. And then for motor,
Separate, like
yes,
$20 on top. Yeah.
and then
Okay.
for moderately damaged, depending on how damaged it is, I do 20 to 25. Once it's like severely damaged, I do $50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's around what Rocket Collects is at. But where I think Rocket Collects is going wrong, nothing against him, but he also grades people's cards.
Yeah.
And dude, that becomes a logistical nightmare
Hmm.
because you have these, mind you, you can do bulk submissions, which is great because you're just piling in. You get 5 cards from this guy, 5 cards from that guy. You can build 20 cards together for a submission very quickly. Problem is then when you get those cards back, if you don't have good notes as whose cards is whose,
Yeah.
like you could fuck up big, right? Like so. Plus, you're hanging on to a dude's card for probably like 3 months at that point,
Hmm.
like between sending them. So I was surprised that he did that, sir. Obviously, he charges them like, whatever, like 20
Yeah,
bucks
the
a card or
charges.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Robert, um, Rocket Collect, he really, I feel like, needs to charge. Plus, he's a big name in the
Yeah, of
game. Like, he could
course.
easily get
Yeah.
like 30, $50 a card and call it a day. But he
Hmm.
just is passionate about what he does.
Hmm.
And so are you just working locally with people on fixing cards, or are you actually getting stuff shipped to
Um,
you?
right now I'm just working locally. I have someone from Alaska that wanted to send me their cards. Someone from Arizona. And they talk to me, and I'm very blunt, and I'm very, I talk to my clients as is, and I'm like, this is gonna take a while. And they send me pictures and everything, so I tell
Hmm.
them like what's fixable, what's not fixable, and I tell them like this is my work, and then they compare me to other like people that restore, and I just tell them like no, yeah, I show them my work, and I'm like this is what I do. If you like my work, you can hit me up whenever. I'm always gonna be here, but whoever you feel more comfortable with, then you can go with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing TCG Wizardry, Haley, she does very well, I think, is controlling customer expectations.
Hmm.
And that is probably one of the most difficult things because, like, I've had a lot of success stories, but the ones that stick out the most are the failures that I've had
Yeah.
for clients. By the way, have all been mid-era
Hmm.
cards with that bubbling. But I was talking with her about that, and she's like, yeah, taking good pictures and showing me what the damage is so important.
Hmm.
And I don't know how much you get the people asking about how to fix whitening, but like people
A
don't
lot of people.
understand what we
Yeah.
do. Like I guess, it's not that whatever they're done. It's like they're just not educated about this whole altering
Hmm.
thing and grading, and it's just a lack of knowledge there, and that's fine. But we as like restoration experts need to educate them, like saying, "Hey, here's what we can do. Here's what we can't do."
Yeah.
And there's even some people I know, like I said, that do trimming, that do coloring, and I think that's wild. But they are very upfront with the fact that like don't grade this card, like
Yeah.
keep it for PC,
PC.
like or something like that, right? Which even then I would, if somebody told me, hey, I'm just gonna have it for PC, I'm like, I don't know, whatever. But I'm sure there's a way. Like I'm sure there's some blue paint on like when it like what is that, Agralius? I used to restore shoes,
Yeah, I
which was
remember you told me. Yeah.
yeah, and like there's like paint that you can like there this one pair. In fact, I've done it on these here. These are the OG Wave Runners, and this orange paint got scratched
Hmm.
up, and the black. This is actually black paint right here.
Hmm.
And on this one website that specializes in this kind of stuff, they have like matching paint.
Hmm.
And I bet you there's probably a match for like, but what I've noticed, if you look at the back of a bunch of Pokemon cards, they're not all the same shade of
Same.
blue,
Yeah. I've noticed that a
So
lot with like different eras or like with the modern and like vintage. It's totally different.
yeah, so you're gonna have to like have a dark blue and white and like mix them to like match
Match the
perfectly.
color.
And even if you do, if you look at it and that pops out when you're looking at it under light, I think it wouldn't get graded. It'd probably
Oh,
get popped. So if you were to do that, it'd be like a situation like where there's like one little tiny little
like,
white dot or something like that. I've even thought about like, well, what if you took the back of another card or something? But that stuff's like wild to me. But it's funny that some people do venture that far into it, and I'm like, hats off to you, but I feel like that's too much.
it
Like
is like that
getting
already
getting an
is altering.
yeah, getting an
Yeah.
indent out, you're not adding or removing anything from the card. And there's even on the E4 forums, like have you heard of E4?
No,
There,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
it's a pretty popular like Pokemon forum.
Hmm.
There's a lot of discourse in there, like people, arguing or talking or whatever. In fact, the whole news about the playtest cards being fake, it broke out on that forum. Like somebody figured it out that they were fake. But there's a pretty big discourse happening now on pressing, right? Like indents and stuff, because
Yeah.
you can tell there is a section of the community that's like, that's fine. You're not adding anything to the card. You're not removing anything. Then there's purists that are like, don't touch my card, like
Hmm.
just grade it and that's it. But maybe the hollow scratch, like, so have you so you mess with Kurt's stuff obviously, but have you
Yeah.
touched like any hollow scratch reducing stuff like Miracle or
Yeah,
whatever?
I recently not too long ago on the NT that I had, I noticed that it was a PSA 8, and I was wondering why I got a PSA 8. So I turned around, it looked really clean, and I see some scratches on the thing, and maybe a few, like a whitening on the corners, and it has like a misprint on the back too. So when I noticed with the Entei, I had like with those light scratches. I'm like, you know what? I've been seeing a lot of Miracle Card Care. I want to see if it works. So once I got that in, I started using it on that Entei, and all those scratches came off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna send this one to get graded 2 to see what it gets.
yeah. I think so I've tried this stuff, but I think it doesn't like so it I'm pretty sure it's just ceramic wax or something like that
Mm.
in there. I can't say for sure. But I came up with this new formula that is almost like it's kind of dangerous
Yeah, I saw
because
what you posted.
this stuff can
Okay.
take like if it's a and it's only specific cards. Like this card I would be nervous using it on
Of course.
because well, not even the fact that it's expensive. It's just more in the fact that this silver, and so if you look at how the printing process was done here, this is just a plastic film, and this part is transparent, so you can see
Mhm.
through the plastic film. Because if I were to take the whole plastic film off, you would just see this hollow thing across the whole card, right? I'm not sure if you saw that video where I pulled that like Pidgeot apart, and
Oh
then it was
yeah.
just this whole card was just all
Mhm.
hollow, right? But if you look at this red part up here, that paint would if I were to go too hard with this stuff, that paint would come off. Now, I will say on cards that are darker like this or whatever, bro, this stuff gets paint like this stuff gets scratches out like even better
Then
than
Miracle.
Miracle Card Care,
Damn.
but it's dangerous is the thing. So I'm definitely gonna release it, but it's gotta come with like what to
Warning
do and what
lanes. Yeah.
not to do. Yeah, because there are some scratches I cannot get out with Miracle stuff, and I've been able to get out with this,
Mhm.
but it's more of a I would call professional product over a general consumer product
Yeah.
because general consumers are going to use it on anything and everything. They're not going to read labels. So I got to be a little careful about how I market
Yeah.
it. Like try not to like just go ham with it where like, yeah, use it on anything because it's almost too good. And it can like, and what's funny is like even when you do it, and if you were to pull paint off, it's not even noticeable. It's more of like if the grader were to look at the card compared to another card, and they see like why is this a little light? Like this would almost shine too much. Like
Yeah.
it makes it pop too much if that's believable. But it's like okay, something's up with this card because it's like too holographic or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, I gotta play around a little bit more with it, and I'm getting there. But it's exciting, that I enjoy that's why I kind of came out with the kits and all that stuff, is I enjoyed more of the product development
Yeah.
side of it than actually like churning out people's cards. Not that that wasn't satisfying in its own way. It's just more in the lines that I felt like what we were doing was so esoteric and not many people were in it, that by selling the kits, getting more people into it, that I would see more people like you that are like, hey, I'm making a little side income, I'm having fun.
Mhm.
It helps me pay for my, addiction to open up packs or whatever,
Yeah.
and also the best part is, since this is like the wild, wild west, some people are doing stuff and bringing that back to the community, like, hey, check it out, I figured out this way to do it or whatever, right? Because you know my methods are only from the culmination of what I've pulled from Kurt
Yeah.
Rocket Collects, what I started experimenting with, salvos, heat pen, like all this kind of stuff, and putting it together. But by no means is the end all be all of what this is going to look like in 4 or 5
Mhm.
years or whatever, right? Like there's probably going to be new methods or
Yeah.
things like that that are going to come out. Like I've been experimenting with these metal plates and putting them in the freezer,
Hmm.
because if you think about it, um, heat contracts and like cold will make it like kind of no, it's the other way around, right? Anyway, bottom line, if you use a combination of heat and cold, so like put in between like heated, then pop it out, put it right in between like ice ass cold, that shock
Yeah.
helps to like hold the card position better, I feel like. And so that's like what I'm trying to like push the boundaries of, like, okay, now let's use like temperature,
Hmm.
right? Because like we're using this kind of stuff, but for example, like when you're drying a card out, if you kind of put it in like a warmer area, I feel like it dries out quicker. It kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like if it's warm, heat's gonna kind of, or the humidity is gonna escape easier. So like, do you do much experimenting, or are you kind of
I
like
tried some experimenting a lot. I know Kurt on his website, he put those chamois, and I
mhm,
was experimenting on those too. I was like, because honestly, because when I was looking for an alternative, because I didn't know like which chamois to get. So I went. I don't know if you know those like little synthetic towels that you use for like a hot day that you can wet. They're cool, but then when they dry, they get really hard.
uh,
So I even
yeah,
asked Kurt. I'm like, hey, would I be able to use this? Is this like the same thing as the chamois? He's like, you can try, but I don't think it's gonna be. So I tried it. That was one of my experiments that I had, and the card. I wait for those little things to dry. I put a card in between and let it dry overnight. And when I got the card, it was like jag rigged. I'm like, oh my god, no.
bummer.
So
Yeah,
after that, um, I went back. I just did a little light mist on the black pads. I got it back straight again. I was like, perfect. Now I need to learn how to dry this. So when those chamois came in, I did the chamois and it was phenomenal. But what I did notice with those chamois is that I don't know if this has happened to you, but when you pull out the card, it has this little like floppy feeling to it. Like it just like starts making noise. I don't know if you've ever had that happen to you
hmm
with some
hmm
cards. So I asked Kurt, I'm like, hey, has this happened? Like, what do I do when I have this type of like feeling or anything? Just and he was just saying, I would prefer to dry when he would dry cards, he would just use the black mats. Just use the black mats, and that's what I've been using now, the black mats, and it's been working way better than the chamois to dry cards.
yeah,
Plus, I leave my room maybe at maybe 65 degrees, 65 to 70. I just leave it at that temperature so it won't like really affect the cards that I have here of clients that I'm working on.
yeah. That's smart. Yeah, the I know what you're talking about, the orange stuff. This does come in my complete kit,
Hmm.
and I like to use this if I use a humidity storm method and the card's super wet.
Yeah.
I'll put it in there for just a couple of hours, but then I'll pull it out and use the black mats after, and then after the black mats is when I use the blotter paper, because that's like the last step, that I feel like pulls the last remaining moisture out and also gives it that nice textured
Texture.
feel. Yeah, because the black mats, the card still has room in there to kind of wiggle around, and like even after the blotter paper, you could then end up doing something like this, or what I have like going on right here is I just have those large sleeves that I cut out,
Yeah.
and then just use the sleeves and call it a day, as like the final step. But that's like overkill. Really, most of the time you can get away with just those mats or the blotter paper. You know,
Oh,
it
man,
just
that
depends
is,
on how wet the card
yeah.
is. Yeah.
I didn't really know about the blotter paper. This is the first time I ever see it. I was like, oh, what is even that? Like, I didn't even know about that. So yeah, the methods like that I've been using was just the chamois, the orange mats, the black mats, and then also the big sleeve, and I just leave it there for with the orange one, that's where I messed up because I'll leave it there for 24 hours because I'll leave it there overnight and I'll go straight to work the morning, and
Mhm.
then I'll come back from 5, and then that's when I'll take it out, check it out, and that's when I've noticed that the card was a little floppy, and like using like that rigid, like I don't know how to explain the sound, but it makes the sound, and it was dry, so I'm like, hmm. So now I'll definitely with that blotter paper. Can you get it anywhere or like Amazon or where would you be able to
Yeah,
get that?
yeah, you can just get on Amazon. I don't know. I haven't experimented with a bunch of different brands, but the one that I use, I mean, I'm sure they're all pretty much the same, but it's just like a weird textured kind of paper. I'll show you. Um, it's not that this is not the end all be all. This is just a personal experiment that I'm like, hey, this worked out pretty good. But like,
Oh,
see
okay.
how it's
Yeah.
somewhat textured?
Hmm.
But it's like very porous paper.
Hmm.
Like, you know, I think that's all it is, really. It's not like printer paper where it's like, you know, super thin and flat.
Yeah.
Like it just is very porous, and people actually use this for drying rose petals, or like it's for flowers. Like people, so they'll press flowers
Hmm.
and they'll dry a flower out. Have you ever seen like cases where people put like like real flowers
Yeah.
in, but they're dried or
Hmm.
whatever? So this is what they use. So a lot of what we do, funny enough, comes from arts and crafts. You know what I mean? Like, of people, and the best people in this industry, I feel like, had a background in arts and crafts.
Arts
For
and crafts.
example, like Haley, I still think to this day, Haley TCG Wizardry, she is the best
Yeah.
at what she does, and I tell you, she still won't fucking tell anybody what the hell she's doing, and it
I,
pisses me off to this
I
day, man.
messaged her about it. I don't know if you saw the poncho that she worked on, the one with the huge crease, and I asked her like,
Yeah,
hey, like, oh, what are your steps? Or like, I asked her like, what do you see works best on taking those type of creases out? She hasn't messaged me yet. I don't
she,
think she will.
she won't.
She won't.
She won't, bro. So when I found her, I was like, I have to interview her.
Yeah.
I literally like every other day was messaging like, hi, hi, like get back to me, like I want to talk to you, because yeah, exactly that. I wanted to like figure out what the hell she's
Yeah.
doing. She was just straight up like one. First of all, months and months. Finally, she must have been drunk or something and just decided to message me back or something, because she was just like, hey, like, um, you know, I don't want to talk about like my methods, but I'm happy to like go on an interview just to kind of like clear up the mystery behind who I am and stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
like all of her videos are pretty much, here's the card, here's the before and after. There's nothing
Mhm.
like what I do with my content where I'm like, hey, Giovanni, like here we go. But you know, so her page is just pretty much like fucking
Oh yeah.
miracles, you know, like
I've seen all the work that she's done, and I'm like, wow.
I
Like I would
have,
like to learn.
yeah, I have, and she rightfully so. I think she just doesn't want people getting into it because it's more competition for her,
Of course.
right? Like
Yeah.
if she's the best and somebody has like a $10,000 $20,000 card and is willing to pay $1,000 to get it fixed, she doesn't want other people in the
No,
game
of
to try to
course not.
compete with that, right? You know, so I get it, you know, but at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, there is a way, right? Like that's what's exciting about seeing her stuff, is like there is a
It's
way to
possible.
get,
Yeah.
yeah. Because like with creases, I feel like it's hit and miss. Like the heat pen does work, and if you do the pressing right, you can perform miracles. But some of the, like she has a poncho Pikachu that had like somebody pushed in the middle of the card, and it was completely jacked. But somehow fucking pulled all of
Yeah.
it
Hold
out, you
on.
know? So she's obviously using some combination of like heat and pressure. The question is like, you know, what? And so I don't, you know, I've heard about the heat press. I haven't. dove into getting one of those. I've heard those are more good for drying a card than it is actually like
Pressing
pressing a
it.
card because I don't think those heat presses actually put a ton of pressure. And you can cook a card in there. Like it can get if you get it too hot,
Yeah.
you'll
I have it
fade
for
the
too long.
card. Yeah. So I'm sure like maybe with the right combination you could probably, really dial it in. Um, but I don't think it's purely just the heat press. I
It's
think
other things.
it's got
I
to
have a
be,
feeling it's a
yeah,
mix of humidity, presses, of course, the bone tool, but of course, it's like it has to be hours and hours of trying to fix that. Because I think
yeah.
for one huge crease that I fixed that was like hardcore, it took me like maybe a day and a half or two just so I can completely
Hmm.
like fix that.
Yeah,
And that bubble Mew, I'm gonna be honest, the one that I sent you, the one that I fixed the top real
you
good,
killed it.
that only took me like maybe 5 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It's like when you break it down, you're like, okay, how much am I making per hour to fix this dude's card, right? That's why when she's at 150 an hour or 150 to fix a card, I'm like, okay, that make. But I'm almost thinking her method of what she's doing. I don't think it takes. I'm sure it takes time. I'm sure it
yes,
takes a few days. But with kind of some of my methods, it could take a week, So whatever she's doing, like, again, we'll find out over time. Somebody will
of
figure it
course.
out, and somebody will open their mouth. But um, hats off to her, like that. She wants to, kind of. I guess what's funny is she's out of Houston, and other people fix cards out there, and she'll get other people's failures,
Fix
and
them.
she's like, it's like reminds me of that SNL skit where like the computer guy walks in and they're like, "Hey, I can't get this to work," and he's like, "Move," and then he goes and fixes it. Like that's probably how she feels in there, where she's like, some guy's like, I don't know what I'm doing," and she's like, "Move, give me the card."
Yeah, no, but
But
that's good that she. I mean, I think she's killing it in the game. I'm gonna be honest. And then I was talking to the other guy that restores cards in California too. He's like that we're very open about it. Like we're not gonna hold stuff back. Like if people want to know what we do, like we'll let them know. I know a lot of people are against what we do, but I think it's like a pretty good thing that what we're doing to help people restore back what was theirs, their personal collection or stuff to get graded or however they want to like do with their collection.
yeah, I mean, let's be honest. There's money to be made here too, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, this is not a huge card, but if I get this to an 8, this is like $250 I'm making on just getting that bumped up a couple of grades. If it hits a 9, I think it's like probably $500 or something like that, right? So,
Yeah.
there is money to be made here, and mind you, yes, there's those are my favorite. When I was working on clients' cards, and they're like, "Hey, like I bent this as a kid, and like I just kind of want it like nice looking and get it graded and get the best grade."
Hmm.
And because I'm gonna give it to my kids when I die, sort of thing. I love that. I'm like, okay, this is super cool. But there are obviously people in this game, and TCG Wizardry deals with a lot of them too,
Yeah.
that are in this game to buy and flip,
Yeah.
and she does this shit for a living, and so that makes me like, you know, and maybe it can't be just Pokemon. Like if you were to restore all cards like her, I think you can make it a full-time job. The biggest thing though is building your network,
Yeah.
right? Going to card shows, people like trusting you, and like, you could become that person. Like Haley worked on a Messi card. I'm sure that card was like thousands of
Hmm.
dollars, and she got this huge crease, and that card had an autograph on it. So I would be fucking major nervous putting that
Yeah.
into a humidor or anything, because if you wipe that auto, I mean it's game over.
Of course.
So whatever she does, I don't think it's like, I think it's targeted somehow, if that makes sense. Meaning like I don't think it's the humidor. I don't think it's the like, the humidity storm. I think like somehow maybe like
An extra
dentist
step.
tools or something where it's like a micro steamer, if
Hmm.
that makes sense, where you can like target steam, or like a gentle or maybe even like an iron. I haven't tried it, but like maybe an iron with like a steam setting on low or something. But I'm sure there's a way. It's just
We will figure it out.
she has an arts and crafts background, which is my point here, right? Like those are the best people that are in
Yeah.
this game right now, is that have that kind of art. That not that I necessarily had that. It was just probably more from the shoe restoration, but
I mean, hey,
you
but
know,
that helps out with your foundation of what you know today and all your experimenting too. So
yeah.
it's,
The biggest thing is eye for detail. Like, do you have magnifying equipment, or do you
yeah,
just pretty much?
I have this one right here
Oh,
that I
that's a
use.
good
Right,
one. Yeah, that's
I use
Kurt's
that one
Kurt's
because
one. Yeah.
I always inspect my clients' cars before I do what I do. I inspect them. I make sure if there's any dirt. I do want to invest in that electronic magnifying the microscope.
Yeah, they're only
I,
a couple $100. I got
yeah,
one over here. I don't actually use that, to be honest, very much because the only time I'm really using it if I'm questioning if something's like whitening versus a print error
yeah.
or something like that, like or like if it's maybe something I could get off. But that honestly, when I record videos for Instagram or whatever, if I have the magnifying thing up,
Mhm.
those videos do so much better. Everybody's like, "What is that thing?" But day to day, like honestly, like having this, I think is like really my go-to. I'll show you what I kind of normally use.
Do you
It's
use a jeweler's lens too? Because I have one, I use that too sometimes.
yeah, so I'll show you the combination of the two that I use. So the first one is this one. So this is a scale loop, and I found out about this from the. I went on LinkedIn and I started messaging people that either work at PSA
Hmm.
or did work at PSA, and I said, "Hey, I'll pay you to talk to interview you." No one got back to me except like
One person.
three people. One person was like, "Who are you and what is this?" And they were like, "Hell no." The other one was like what are you trying to do with this information? And they were like obviously like reporting it.
Yeah.
And then one guy who used to work at PSA during the pandemic, but then quit, and now he's at like another sports thing,
Hmm.
was hit me up and he was like, "Yeah, sure." So he showed me when you get hired as a grader at PSA, you get assigned one of these.
Hmm.
And all this bullshit about PSA having fucking that like magnifying thing or like microscopes or whatever, the general PSA grader does not get those tools. Maybe at the higher level, like if it were like $10,000 card or
Hmm.
more, yes, it goes under more scrutiny. The card goes under way more scrutiny, right? Like that's when they're busting out black lights. That's when maybe they're trying to like figure out, okay, is this shit real or
Yeah.
whatever. But the general PSA grader is getting one of these. So it has a light on it. I sell these on my website, but it has a light on it. You know, it's rechargeable. And if you look inside, normally I can get this to work. Hang tight.
I think it has like those little. I think I seen it last time you posted it. It has like those little things that you can like check it out. There you go.
Yeah,
Little
you
ruler.
see that there? Yeah, that's sick, huh? So
Yeah.
you use that for centering. So this is great because it's like their graders are only looking at with 10x.
Hmm.
So if you look through and it's it's not super noticeable, why go 50 100x,
Hmm.
like because if they're not doing, and the only reason to do that, like I said, is if you want to check if something's like a print error versus like damage. That I could see, because print error, and it's an expensive card, because if you're just doing that with any old card, it's definitely, you're just overkill. But that thing's pretty sweet. And then there's this other thing here, this one, like if you do really want to go overboard and like zoom in a lot, there's this one here, which is pretty much similar. It doesn't have a scale in it, but it has this adjustment to go like how much do you want to zoom in. So this
Oh,
goes from 60 to 120. And when you use this thing on a card, man, you can literally see like the dot print matrix on a card. It's wild. I don't think I'm gonna get it to work, but I'll give it a shot. Let's see. Uh, no, yeah.
no. Yeah.
Anyway, when you look at it with this, you can literally see like
The
these
actual.
circles
Yeah.
of how the ink is actually printed on the card. But this is how they legit check stuff. Because, like, if the card is questionable in authenticity or they think it's like a fake first edition stamp, that's when they'll bust something like this out. But that's only, again, at the higher level. If it's under like probably a 500 bucks, like raw, they're not going to be busting out that kind of stuff because they don't really care at the end of the day about the insurance on the
Yeah.
card, which is really when it comes down to it. It's like, okay, if we grade this thing at 10, what's our insurance going to be if somebody claims, this card's fake and it is fake, right? Then they're going to be out, whatever. So that's really when it comes down to. So that, and I have a desktop magnifier. I don't know where the hell it is right now. My office is a mess, but I sell them on my website with like a grading
Hmm.
kit, and those are really sweet. They're just these big old desktop magnifier. You just set it on your desk. It's kind of lifted up so you can put the card underneath and kind of look at it. And those are sweet. I've heard some graders do buy those themselves, but um, that pretty much what a grader is assigned is the scale loop, a velvet mat, and an overhead light, and they sit in a dark room and have 30 to 60 seconds per card to
Oh, wow.
look at it.
And
Yeah,
I know they're doing a lot of cards a day. Like I know that.
bro. Yeah,
I
it's
can
grueling.
imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, unless it's a banger. That's when the guy told me he's like, yeah, if it's like a super expensive card, we'll spend time
Of
really
course,
looking it
yeah.
over. We won't rush those. Yeah. So that's why you'll get like a tens on like all these like low end cards, and then
Hmm.
you're like, bro, this card looked perfect, but like one little tiny white dot, and they're like nine, you know,
Yeah.
because but someone asked, do you ship worldwide? Yes, I do. What's the name of that tool? This one, like this one. This is, I don't know. There's probably 1,000 different brands of this Carson, but it has this little roller. So like when you do zoom in, you have to like, kind of like when you have Magnum,
Yeah.
you have to like,
Is that to like
uh,
is that to what's it called? Focus on it? There you go.
bingo. Yeah, so you have to focus on it, and then the other ones is just a scale loop. Yeah. But this is like high end, like the same exact Japanese brand that PSA graders use, which is why mine's expensive. There are some cheaper ones on like Amazon and stuff you can
Hmm.
find, but I have a centering tool I built on my website that goes along with this. So like when you that's really when you want to get anal about stuff is like
Yeah.
centering, because that honestly, when you're looking at a card over time, you'll start to get the feeling of like, okay, how good is the centering? Because um, that's what I've learned. In the beginning, I thought, okay, whitening and da, 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 and it's like, no, the biggest culprit of
All right.
getting like an 8 or 9 or whatever is that centering, and centering on the front. Like all the grading companies are super lenient with grading on the back. Not much of them care too much about like,
With the back, because what's mainly important is just the front. Yeah.
dude, I seen a black label Moonbryon, uh, black label Moonbryon, right? Like
Mhm.
the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Like this card's 10 grand, and had it in my hand at trade night here in Vegas. I look at the back, so off center. I
Was it
was
right
like,
heavy
now
or
that
left heavy?
I
I've been
don't
noticing
remember, but
that too on some cars that are higher end.
front was perfect. I'll give it that. Front was perfect. It was a black label front. But I was like, damn, I didn't know they give out black labels, and the back is off. I thought black label, everything's
Everything
perfect.
has to be
Front is
perfect. I feel like
perfect,
that too.
back is perfect, but no, like as long as the front's perfect, there's no whitening on the back and it's somewhat centered, but it wasn't perfectly centered. That's for damn sure when I was looking at it. So I was like, so anyway, tag maybe that's where tag comes into play because like since they can be super scientific with like, okay, like how perfect
Yeah.
is this card,
Yeah.
that's where like I feel like a tag 10 might end up being the pinnacle now, like the
Mhm.
goal, like the very best condition, like because that thing, I think if they can really like tighten up, and I've seen tens that they do have like slight things going on, but if they can like tighten up a 10, I think that's where it could be game over.
Yeah.
Like they could be the new black label, you know.
I do know that Tag has two services. I think they have the S and the X. I think the X is the lower tier, and I think the S is like when they do that scoring. And I think that's when that comes into play. I think right now, I think they have like the top score. Let's say you have the sun, like the Sunbreons that are out right now, the Japanese one. I think the highest score one was a 998 or 991, and I think the one that they were giving out as a giveaway was a 998 something. But I think that can come into play too, and then I guess depending on how high that rank is, because I think it's from what was it? I don't know. I'm not too sure, but I know the highest one is 1,000. If you get that 1,000, then I think people can sell that one for a crazy amount of price,
Hell
depending on
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, pop plays a lot into
yeah
this, right? Like
popularity. Population.
population.
There you
No,
go.
like the pop yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've made some mistakes where like there's an incomplete hollow air that PSA used to have.
Hmm.
So back in the day, they did have one that was called an incomplete hollow as one of like the air labels.
Hmm.
They got rid of it. I sent in like two cards that were bangers. There was
Hmm.
a Charizard that was a complete incomplete hollow. It had the incomplete hollow on the thing, and I sent it in. Comes back not incomplete hollow. I call them up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we don't recognize that air label." And I'm like, "Fuck!" So the label I had, I should have just kept it sealed because now that they don't recognize it, nobody can grade more of those
Yeah.
cards. So like that is now on ice. Like whatever is out there for incomplete hollows, there never will be more of those graded. And in fact, there's like a couple of other errors, not errors, but there's a card that says for centering only or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it was like this dark Arbok. They have a few from that certain era that says like for centering only or something. It's like printed in huge white letters on the
Hmm.
front. And Beckett and them used to grade those, and then all of them stopped grading them. So like
I
those
wonder why
cards are
is
cool.
that. Like, I
Yeah,
wonder why they stopped.
I think it's because they can't guarantee authenticity. Like
Mhm.
they can't like since the manufacturer never like came out and said, "Yeah, that's our card."
Yeah.
They can't really prove that that is like a legit
Card.
card. Yeah. So because in fact, there's some kind of weird novelty cards I have that I
Mhm.
can't really find who will grade them. So I'll show you real quick. But these are from the Nickelodeon magazine, and I can't even find which issue of Nickelodeon magazine these came out of. But I do remember as a kid having these. I still have my childhood ones pulled out of the thing, but they're so cool. They're like these little rip
Oh,
cards, and
what? That's
they
sick, dude. I've never
they
seen those.
say yeah, they say the funniest shit on them too. Like I'll show you, like on the back. See how it says like Nick? They're called Jokamon, and they're
What?
like Nick. It says Nickelodeon magazine, right? But like the Rare's funny. Like it has these moves like heart attack. Tell people how much this card is, and like they'll
Wow.
die or whatever. Show
What?
me the money. Any person who dares to even look at this card must pay $100.
That's cool, dude.
But
That's funny.
yeah, like they're just like whatever kind of because when Pokemon hit back then, um, Nickelodeon was like we should kind of make fun of it a little bit or whatever, right? But anyway, I can't find anybody to grade these. Like nobody, they're legit. Like they came
Yeah.
from Nickelodeon magazine or whatever, but PSA won't touch them. CGC Beckett won't touch them. And so it sucks. Like I want them in a slab for
Of
personal,
course.
like
Yeah.
just to preserve them, right? So I don't know. Maybe I need to like make my own grading company and just start slapping stuff
Yeah, you
myself.
got it. Giovanni's grading company. Mhm.
I think that would be a smart service if
Mhm.
a grading company can come out with like a cleaning and restoration step
Oh, yeah.
before they
Before
get
grading.
graded.
Yeah.
Why
That would be
wouldn't
sick.
you?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. Maybe then they risk damaging a card or something. But I mean, maybe if you just like, they had like if we fuck it up, it's on you sort of thing. I mean,
Mhm.
but I could see that hitting. I could
Yeah.
see
Yeah,
people
of course. I think
doing that.
people would go with more with that and say because they know that there's like, oh, my card's gonna be clean. Wow, but after will be clean before getting put in a slab, and it will
Yeah.
look cleaner.
So what else you got going on? Is this pretty much it? Are you just gonna keep cleaning cards, or you got bigger things going on?
I do want to see how this goes longer. I mean, I do enjoy it. I tell my wife all the time it helps. It's therapeutic because I could be having a bad day at work and I come home, spend time with my son and my wife, and then right at 8, I just put like good music, whatever I don't feel like listening to, and I just work on cards.
Hell
and
yeah.
then I do that.
Yeah.
And then maybe later on, expanding because I do have a friend that also sells Pokemon cards that wants to open up later on his shop, or maybe like it's like how you mentioned going to the shows that we have over here, setting up a booth where he can sell his cards, and I have a booth like right next to it, and like doing my services as well, and see where things go, see
That'd
what the future
be cool. Or
holds.
like, in fact, TCG Wizardry was talking about like having a card shop to actually drop off cards to like restore. So
Yeah,
so they like partner with her. You know, if you could work out something like that, that would be sweet, right? And it's just
I
like if you know,
tried.
you know,
I
you know.
tried with some Pokemon shops. I know one guy that I clean his cards. I mean, he's really cool. I clean his cards. He sends them to get graded. He sells them. He's pretty cool. I haven't pitched that idea, but I was thinking of like like trying to see if I could like try to get a local game store to like help me help you type of
Yeah.
situation. But I went to one store and they just said no. Like they're like, we can't do that here because you're promoting this, but we're selling this, and like this doesn't work. It's not gonna work.
Conflict. Yeah, it makes
Yeah,
sense.
because
I kind of see that.
because
Yeah.
they did get in trouble one time because there was a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament happening in that I think that day, and they released that what was it, that promo too early, and
Mm,
their store got in trouble.
really?
So that's
Oh,
so
damn.
that's why when I told them about it, but they were still cool about it. They still tell people about me that yeah, the people want to get their cards cleaned and everything or fixed. We'll send them with you. So they still kind of
Yeah.
help me out in a way. They're really cool people. I've known them since they were a little shop, but then they expanded pretty well.
I think the way to do it, to be honest, is just like have people ship you the card. Like
Mhm.
just do the Instagram thing, grind, maybe build a little website, and then just go that route because that's so much more scalable than to deal with your local population and like
Yeah.
you go from this many people to like a shitload of people, right? And
Mhm.
just build the like because I was starting to do it and I kind of abandoned it, but like build a process to like intake cards, like just go on like Google form and just like you can make a form super quick and just put that on your Instagram. Like here's my intake form, and when they submit it, it just gives them the shipping address at the end. You don't even know any coding. You can just build that right with Google Forms and just have that as your intake process. People ship you the card. And I always took payment up front. That was just me.
Yeah,
TCG
that's
Wizardry
me
does it at the
too.
end. Yeah,
I do up front and they start working on cards.
I feel like that's the way to do it because she has a point. Like she doesn't feel motivated. Like if she got paid up front, like she wouldn't be motivated to fix a card to get the money at the end.
Hmm.
But I'm like, I don't, it's to me, it's like I don't want to get screwed either. Although some of these cards are bangers, it'd be more than what people are paying me to whatever. But still, it's like, I wouldn't want to do that where I'm like hanging on to somebody's card and like holding them hostage. Like that's why
Yeah.
I would be, pay. I would always do it where they would fill the form out, say what cards you're going to send. I send them the quote via like payable Stripe link. They would just pay the Stripe link. Once they get that invoice printed, include that into your submission. That way I can line up whose cards are with whose
Hmm.
order. And then on that is the return address and like maybe like Instagram handle or some way to get a hold of them,
Yeah.
maybe email. But if you did, I think that's the way to do it, man. And then that way you can just like go from doing like $15 a card to like just make the standard 50
Under
like
50.
out the gate, you know what I mean?
And what do you
No,
think?
just
What do you think about
do
damage cards? 50 as
do
well.
like I mean, bottom line, I would say like there's still got to be some balance between what's wrong with the card and what's not.
Yeah.
The problem is I don't trust people to know what's wrong with the card unless I have the card in
Yeah.
hand. Like, because people can send you pictures and then you get the card and you realize like, oh, there's an indent on the back when they thought it was just like I need to clean the hollow or whatever. Then you're in this weird situation of asking for more money. So I would just go like a flat rate, like 100, 150, whatever you feel comfortable
Mhm.
with, and then just call that the standard. Maybe if you want to just get started in the beginning, you have like a limited $50 per card, or do like a bulk thing. Like if you do submit 10 cards, then lower the
Yeah.
price or something
Yeah. So
like
that's
that.
how I have it now. So like, I do both because I know another person here like where I live or like around the area also does it, but he does it at 15 flat rate. But what I do is I do 15, but then I do the bulk as in 10. If you give me 10 cards or more, I do $10 a card.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing, and I think the most I've gotten was 40 cards for that rate. So it helped out a lot, and I worked on those. The good things, some of those were damaged, as in like just like little like dents indents here that were real good and easy to take off. Some of them had some like little edge repairs that I took off, and most of them just needed cleaning. And
Mhm.
so we did that, and that one I think I took like 3 or 4 days to do, like just like late nights, work nights too, just working on them, just like doing that, and then
It is
I'll get
meditative.
yeah
I know exactly what you mean by that, man. Where you toss on some good music and you just like what is it called? Getting in the zone
yeah.
sort of thing, right? Like,
I
yeah.
that happens a lot. What do you listen to when you usually like clean cards?
So it really comes down to like chiller music. I don't like to put on like my workout music and
Do
sort of
you put
stuff, right?
you put
But
lo-fi?
um, I can fuck with
Yeah.
lo-fi, yeah, like that sort of stuff for sure. There's some like chiller rap that I kind of like, or there's this he's very obscure, but it's called Planum, Planum, and the dude doesn't even make music anymore. He's out of Russia.
Hmm.
If you do like Planum music, but it's like kind of psytrance, if you ever heard of that genre or whatever. But he's
I don't think
got
I
like
haven't.
there's two albums he has, one called Spying Imagination and the other one's called Innovation, I think. But very obscure. Not a lot of people know about him, but bro, that those two albums hit. I love them. I mean,
I'm gonna put them on my YouTube right now. I'm just gonna have it ready to
it,
listen to after.
I feel like I get acid flashbacks from when I like listen to it again, you know what I mean? But it's pretty good stuff. So something like that. But yeah, the lo-fi stuff is really cool too. Um, if I'm pissed off, maybe I'll throw on some System of a Down or something like that if a card's
Yeah,
being a pain in the ass.
I listen to a lot of like with me. It just really depends. I listen to like if I'm like you know what I feel like listening to Skrillex, like his old
Yeah,
his
Skrillex hits, dude. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'll put Skrillex's old music, and then I'll put a lot of rock and rolls from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, or if not, I'll put a lot of Spanish music that was. I don't know if you do you listen to reggaeton or anything or no? Like,
I'm probably my son's a soccer fan and he listens to all of these YouTubers and all the time he's putting on like I obviously don't speak Spanish but yeah all the time he's putting on like it's like funk a PH like have you ever heard of this new genre coming out where it's like super heavy bass and like it's like there's like this weird Spanish rap behind it
yeah.
but it's like distorted or whatever. I don't know.
Do you?
Like I feel like I feel old because I'm like kids these
I
days, you know.
think right now the new genre that's going on is reggaeton. Oh no, it's corridos tumbados. That's what we call them here. So it's like they're corridos, but like they rap in them and everything. So that's what's
Hell yeah.
going on. And a lot of
Yeah, you
people
got to
do
send me
good
some
stuff.
stuff,
Oh
man.
yeah, I will, bro. I'll send you some good music and everything too, so you can listen to.
Yeah. Um I'll send you I'm gonna drop it in the chat right now if other people want to listen to this too. But you were talking about a chill this song right here. When I put this song, bro, towards the end it gets crazy. But this is like my jam right here. Let me copy it. But I saw this dude live, and it's called Breakcore. It's kind of like reminds me a little bit of. Have you ever heard of like that 8-bit NES kind of like music, or whatever?
I believe I heard it only once when I went to my cousin's house because my cousin's like from that era too, like from the early '90s, late '80s era. So like when I'll go hang out with them, we'll like I'm a Magic player too, so we'll just like listen to music and like just play Magic, or if not, like, we'll just hang out and just work on like computer stuff, or if not trying to hack some DSs that we have, or like fix up some DSs.
Yeah, Saber Pulse. I would check out Saber Pulse, and then this other one, Venetian Snares. There's specifically a song that Venetian Snares has called
Hmm.
Hanjo. He takes this like orchestra sample of like this viola that these chicks play, but like distorts it with this like drums and stuff. So the beginning of the song, bro, you'll be cleaning a card and you'll be like, "Oh, this is so
Yeah,
nice." You feel like you're
yeah,
getting in the zone, and then the song just gets more and more chaotic. But by the end, you're like, "Ah, fuck." Because that's how
yeah.
I feel like in the beginning when you're working on a card, it's like fun, and then like something fucking like not coming out, or then you're just seeing new shit that you missed, and you're like, ah, fuck.
Oh my God, you kind
But
of
hell
reminds
yeah,
me
man.
like right
Yeah,
now, like when you told me that type of stuff, like a scene just like I don't know if you remember the movie Incredibles when Jack like starts getting those powers and the end
yeah,
song is and like right there, I'm like imagining you just looking at a like a little dent that doesn't want to come out. You're like, crap.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I gotta. So the biggest card I have right now, um, and I don't know when I'm gonna work on this thing. I'm kind of, to be honest with you, nervous of working on it.
Mhm.
The fact, shit. That's bad when you can't find the card. Hang on. Oh yeah, speaking of double hollow, check these out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But the
Oh,
Magic
dude.
Carp one also has that double hollow, like because typically there's no hollow up here. But
Yeah.
yeah, those are sweet. I love these.
When I
I
first
was about
noticed mine was a double hollow, like I didn't even notice it until like I just shined it to the light. That's when I noticed like right where the name is and everything. That's when like I started seeing the hollow pattern on top, and I noticed that there was two swirls on each side. I was like, so I got pretty excited on that. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep this and I'm just gonna have it stored away.
yeah. So somebody hit me up on IG. I hope this card's real. It looks real. 100% looks real. I can't find anything wrong with it. Um, dude seemed legit. All the other cards he sent me were legit. And I've always wanted this card as a fucking kid, dude.
Oh, dude, me too.
Dude.
That one and the legendary collections, the reverse hollow.
But look at that right there.
Oh no,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
gnarly, man.
So this is the most expensive card I'll probably ever work on. I don't know if there's a bigger one, but I'm really nervous about working on this. So
I
this is one of
would
those
be too,
where,
man, because it's a
yeah,
really expensive card. I think the most expensive ones that I've done was the Gold Star Charizard and the two ponchos that I have right here that are my buddies that I already finished and everything.
yeah, there it's nerve-wracking. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I quit cleaning other people's cards because when I started having a couple of failures with those mid-air
Yeah.
ones, I felt so bad that I was just like, this is too much stress on me. But if you have like a terms of service with people, like, hey, listen, there are going to be cards that I can't get the crease or indent out, or I maybe, wreck it a little bit more. You got to take that as like, you're going to have W's. You're going to most of the time have
Hmm.
W's, but there are definitely going to be some L's in between. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you can like set that expectation, you're fine. You know what I mean? But,
I do tell my clients too because I have one card here that has like a pretty good scratch right in the back on the top right, and it goes down to
mhm.
where the N is. I told him like, yeah, I can try. It's not a possibility. It's not. I can maybe it can come off, maybe it can. I'll let you know. So I always try here and there. Like if I can get indents out, I'll get them out. And then with this one, we were able to clean it up really well and everything. Let me see if I can pull it out. Show it. This one came out really clean. This one came out clean, but right here in the back, I don't know if you can see it. Like right here on the top, there's like a little slight deep scratch.
Mm.
So I told him since it's a little deep already, like it's not fixable.
Yeah,
You can't.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the tough part about like those scratches. Like even you can use Miracle stuff on the back too, but it's not always going to get those
Yeah,
scratches
and that's what I
out,
was doing most of the time was with Miracles, trying to see if I can take that out. Nothing budged, man. And I was just
Yeah. Maybe I'll send
right.
you some of my stuff and
I was gonna
you can
message you. I was gonna message you. I'm like, hey, I'm willing to try it out too.
yeah.
But yeah, right now
So
I'm
we're
working on these,
oh
and these are not.
those are cool. Those are the shoot, why am I forgetting the artist's name?
I,
Yeah,
the Munch cards or the Mensch cards, something like that.
yeah, but
Yeah,
they're
they're
like
a
in
buddy
that,
of mine.
yeah, they're in that style
The
of
Van
not
Gogh.
Picasso,
No,
Van
Picasso.
Gogh. Yeah,
Van Gogh.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are sweet. Even the felt hat Pikachu, that's kind of, you know, that card's hella fake though. Like people are buying up that card
Counterfeits.
like crazy and realizing there's a shitload of fake ones out
I've
there.
been
So
noticing that
I
too. I've been seeing that. My buddy got one not too long ago, and I cleaned it up for him. He just wanted me to clean it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm like, I'll clean it up for you." And it was super nice. And then I saw the next day that there was a report saying that most of them are counterfeits. And I think there was one seller or a guy that was selling to a vendor, and he's like, "Hey, dude, these are fake. Don't get it from this guy." Like another guy like came up to him and said, "Like, don't even buy from him. They're counterfeits."
hmm, yeah, that's scary, man. Like I can't imagine like for example, like this dude at let me see if I have it. Yeah, here it is. This dude at a trade night, he was like, "Hey, I got this card, whatever. Is it real?" And I was like, "No." And then he was like, "Okay, you can have it, but look at this."
Oh yeah, you can tell right away with the
Right,
hollow.
right away, right away. And he had the $5,000. I was like, "Dude, bro, that shit is fake as fuck."
Oh,
So
even the
I
back
told,
too.
yeah, it. I think the easiest way to tell, to be honest, is if you look at the edge of the card, there's no like black layer in between the card.
Hmm.
Let me see if I can pop it open real quick. But like that's like my number one way of like legit checking a card is like, can I see the black core layer in between the card?
Yeah.
Because is this is like a dead ass giveaway. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it to see. That's just pure white.
Yeah. It looks a little
Like
thicker too, or am I just
yeah.
seeing things?
It's not that it's. In fact, it almost maybe is a yeah. Maybe it's a tiny bit thinner even, but like the black layer, there is like a black layer, but it's at the very top. Like it's basically this is the black
Yeah.
layer. Whereas you look at a real card, I'll take like the Charizard for example. That when I bought this card, the very first thing I did to legit check it was look at the edge. And if you look, there's like a faint little black line in between there. It's really hard
Yeah.
to tell with like yeah, I'm not gonna be able to zoom into that. But there's like a faint black line in
Hmm.
between these two white lines. And that's like the easiest way to like go, okay, this
Legit
is
check
like
it.
legit. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so anyway, it was fun talking to you, Sebastian. I
Of course,
appreciate
man.
you
I
hopping
appreciate
on. I
this.
know you're probably exhausted and you probably need to get to bed. But any last thoughts here before we end the stream?
Last thoughts is that, I was very nervous about this. I was even telling my wife about this interview and like my family members, friends, my clients. I was like, and then when I would message you at first, I was like, I don't even know if he's gonna message me back about this. You know what? But I gave it a shot. I gave it a shot. Messaged you about my work. Messaged Kurt about it, and I'm very glad I sent you that message because you're an amazing person, bro.
Thank you.
Like
Appreciate it.
awesome, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah, no. If it's cool, I'll list your information on we have a page on our website that has like restoration
mhm.
artists. And I've got everybody that I've talked to in the past. If it's cool, I'll put you
Yes,
up there so people can reach out to you to send you some cards to clean if
yeah,
they need.
appreciate that, brother. Really appreciate that.
Hell yeah. All right, well, have a great weekend. I'm gonna go spend some time with my son. I suggest you do the
Yeah,
same
I'm gonna
and
go do that
enjoy your
right now.
family, or maybe go take a nap first. I don't know, man. Yeah.
Yeah, right now my son's
Yeah.
waiting for me. I already
Uh,
hear him that he's like already
yeah.
calling me and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, in the future, I'm going to plan like a fireside chat where I'm going to have a bunch of us hop on
Mhm.
that are all like, and just kind of, go ham. I think that would be a lot of
Oh
fun.
yeah, it will.
Um, yeah. Stay tuned for that. And yeah, in the meantime, I think I'll get your information. I'll put it up there. And yeah, it was
It was
nice
nice.
talking to you, Sebastian. Thank you
It's
so
nice
much.
talking to you and meeting you,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah. Take it easy. All
You
right.
too, man. Later.
Later.
Bye.